Hello and welcome to My Security TV, and my name is Chris Cubbage. I'm with My Security Media. This is our Tech and Sec Weekly, our Tuesday afternoon episode, and we're going to be crossing over to Israel and be joined by Daniel Ehrenreich, who is our ICS cybersecurity expert, and we're doing some SCADA and ICS cybersecurity workshops with Daniel at the moment. And on Sunday, a cyber attack was announced on the Natanz atomic facility in Iran. So we thought it was a good opportunity to have a look at that particular set of circumstances. So we'll have a look at that and some other similar related attacks on critical infrastructure and the cyber threat landscape that we have in that context. Daniel, how are you going there?
Yes, good afternoon.
Beautiful. And good morning to you there in Israel. I'm glad we've got you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Following to the introduction and the topics which are on the news, I would like to give a couple of things that we can all learn from that. So let me try to open my short session about couple of incidents which happened recently worldwide related to industrial plants. We call it cyber physical. And as you mentioned, we are hearing about the attack on the Natanz facility, although no one really clearly say what exactly happened there, was it a cyber attack or another attack, but definitely I will give some ideas about this topic.
Before you start, Daniel, was I correct in saying that Israel they haven't come out and claim responsibility, but they're not denying it? What's the circumstances there at the moment? Because it's been pretty well covered in Israeli media.
You know what? When things happen in this part of the world, I think everyone is very much sure about who did it, why did it, and where did it. I'm not sure if there is a clear announcement. As usually, there is no announcement. We all know there are a couple of events among countries in this part of the world, but I say. It is quietly handled. Usually no one is interested to making a big issue about it, although things are done and it's all on the news.
Yeah.
So earlier there was an attack on a vessel which was a fishing vessel, according to publication modified to military vessel. We heard about other attacks in other parts of the world which are not related to this one, like the attack on the Oldsmar water utility, which could be a severe incident, but luckily it didn't happen. Last year there was an attack on a water utility in Israel by known countries. So, but what is really bothering us is the publication of Bridewell Consulting that in the past year 86% of critical national infrastructures in UK have experienced some type of cyber attack on the operational technology, industrial control systems. And this is something that needs to bother us, because what does it mean? It means that there is no specific spot around the world or a country or fight about two countries. It's happening all around the world. So just to give you a little bit of background about what we are talking about, when we speak about attacks, such as happened on the Natanz facility, which people say it was not a cyber attack, but according to what I show here, there are three possibilities. Internally generated attack. It can be any kind of mechanical damage. It can be attaching some type of explosive, as it was published. It can be an employee or a visitor or someone who penetrates internal to the facility. So it is all called cyber attack, no matter how exactly if it was done through computer or not. Externally generated attack is always through the internet, like what happened on the water utilities in USA and in Israel. It was done through the internet. By the way, the Stuxnet attack in 2010 was also an internally generated attack. And then we are talking about the solar supply chain related cyber attack, such as was the SolarWinds, which happened that people rely on the supplier, they download the update, and suddenly the malware is coming into the
You mentioned the Stuxnet. The Stuxnet was also on the Natanz facility as well, right?
Yes. It was also an internally generated attack, although it was computer-related attack, meaning that there was probably a pre-designed attack. Somebody carried it on the malvertised computer or USB. It does not really matter what happened. And who did it. What really matters that in 2010 the industry realized that air-gapped facilities which are disconnected from the internet are not truly safe. This is the important conclusion from that attack. So it's not enough to say we are disconnected from the internet, because internally generated cyber attack might happen.
Understood.
So just briefly, who can be the attackers? Practically insiders, outsiders. The type of attack can be accidental, opportunistic, or targeted, focused. And when we speak about the big activities initiated by nations, then obviously we have professional attackers. In standard 62443, we define it under security level 4, when there are enough knowledge, enough budgets and time, and the bad news is that APT, advanced persistent threat attacks, will be successful. So how can we protect our organization? First of all, a very simple, the PPT Triad means that we need to have trained people, we need to collect intelligence, we need to conduct forensics when something happened, to really investigate what happened, why it was not prevented. We need policies and preparedness, like I'm going to talk about it very soon, incident response measures, which should be part of the policy, part of the organization activity, and finally technologies. So you can see that if you are working in parallel and deploying cyber defense in these three vectors, people, policies, and technologies, I will never say you can prevent an attack, but you can make it significantly more difficult. Briefly talking about the three important activities that you can do. Incident response is obviously the most important, because you have teams, you have training, you have practicing, and it will be their role to instantly take action. When we speak about IT operation, obviously prevent data leakage, data encryption, exposure of confidential information. When we speak about industrial activity, we always refer to preventing outage, preventing damage, but I would say the most important, preventing that people might get hurt. So this is very, very critical. Then we need to have the business continuity preparedness. What are we doing as part of our activity? People, policies, and technologies. We have redundant computers. We have trained people. We do the training and drills. All these things can be done. And finally, disaster recovery planning, the DRP, need to be in every organization in order to return to the activity as quickly as possible. So very clear. And I would say in these two slides, you see what the management can see immediately what can be done, and how can your organization achieve that. So
in this particular example, obviously their incident response needs to be pretty good, considering it's a nuclear facility, and they're obviously dealing with an advanced persistent threat. And even when they know they're under threat, they, as you said, when you're dealing with an APT, they are very likely to get through and be successful eventually. This facility has been attacked before significantly. We talked about Stuxnet. Yes. So even they must be on. I think they're building it in the base of a mountain, and even still, they've had a successful attack against them. And it does show just how difficult it can be to protect when you've got that APT who is just targeting you non-stop, right?
Well, as I said, there is no silver bullet. And here we have an example, a facility which was already under attack, and somebody is making a decision to take an action, and it cannot be prevented, because either it will be internal, either it will be internal by employee, by a cleaning person, by a service provider. There are many possibilities that attack can take place, and today to carry a very small size memory device on a USB, that it really can, no one can really prevent it, that someone will bring it to the facility. So to tell you that there is a possibility to prevent it, we always need to do our most in order to take action and prevent that. And when it happens, we need the forensic activity, and we need to do investigation, and we need to upgrade our preparedness. And this is what brings me to how can we do that? The standard 62443 is different from other regulations. It really tells you step by step how you can do it. And our current collaboration is conducting the 16-hour workshop. It started on 6th of April, but I really want to tell you it's not too late to join, because all the recordings, all the presentations are recorded and can be available. So what are we doing in this 16-hour session? First of all, most important, people who deal with industrial cybersecurity must understand how the industrial plants are working. Then we are talking about the different kind of vulnerabilities, the attack vectors, attack surface, how the IIoT device might increase the cyber attack surface and increase the risk. We talk about cyber defense methodology, how exactly we are defending the facility, meaning how exactly we can reduce the probability that a cyber attack will get through. We will talk about a couple of standards, but the entire session or majority of the session will be dedicated to the ISA 62443, the principles, the philosophy, the methodology. We will talk about what I mentioned earlier, the BCP, DRP, and IR, how we are doing it, what is the role of the different teams. Then we talk about the cyber secure maintenance. This is specifically important these days during the COVID-19 period, that we cannot, people cannot travel to the facility to conduct maintenance, and we have no choice. We must allow them to connect remotely. By the way, this was happened in Oldsmar, Florida, that they were very prepared to allow remote maintenance, and finally turned to a cyber attack. on the last session, we are going to look ahead. What next? What else we can do? Where the industry is going? So truly, I'm inviting you to consider this session, and for sure, it will help you to improve the cybersecurity posture of your organization.
Wonderful. Thank you, Daniel. Very good sale there. So, look, do join in if you can. There are a number of sessions. And obviously, given this attack in Iran on the weekend, we saw as a good example, or another example, sadly, of critical infrastructure and industrial control systems being attacked. And that one caused a massive blackout. And I was incorrect. I think I incorrectly said that Israel claimed responsibility. They have not claimed responsibility. Everyone's looking at Israel in the end anyway, given the situation. I got a quote here from Natanz who said, oh, I've lost it. He pretty much toasted his security team. So, look, it does have the sort of similar vein of Stuxnet as it was in 2010. So here we are 11 years later and the same facility is being attacked. But as Daniel Ehrenreich sort of passes through in his teachings, advanced persistent threats will be successful eventually. And so you really do have to know how to protect and defend against these on these critical systems. So look, Daniel, on that note, thank you so much. We're going to be doing session 4 this Thursday. So if you want to join in, that's 4 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. Just let us know and we'll get you onto that course. We do have a number of participants on that course as well, and they're getting into the meaty parts of it now, but you can always catch up. Sessions 1 to 3 are available, as Daniel pointed out. So Daniel, stay safe over there. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you again on Thursday afternoon.
Thank you very much, and looking forward to that all participants benefit from that training.
Absolutely. That's the course there. Just again, go to the My Security Marketplace. The course is available, and yeah, check out all the details there and run down on each of the 8 sessions. So Daniel, I'll let you go, mate, and I'll see you on Thursday.
Okay, perfect.
All the best. Ciao. Okay, so look, that's it from us today, and unfortunately we're not tuning in on LinkedIn, so I'll check that out for later in the week. But if you happen to be listening on YouTube or on Facebook, say good day, and let's see if these chats are working. And as I do, the report of the day, and this is out. This is a Forrester consulting report, and it was commissioned by Elastic. And this is the changing role of the IT leader, driving business resilience through adaptability and employee experience, and really looking at the changing role of IT during COVID and remote working. So the 3 key takeaways, it's a pretty meaty report. It's worth having a look at if you're in this space, but it's more than 1/3 of IT leaders said their organisation's IT budget decreased by more than 10% since the beginning of the pandemic. 57% of IT leaders believe that enabling employees to work flexibly and remotely will improve the adaptiveness of their organisation. And more than 1 in 3 IT leaders said their organisation is expanding enterprise collaboration technologies to enable employee productivity. So obviously the IT leaders under a scope of change during the pandemic and will continue to be. So that's it from us. Please check out the Cyber Risk Leaders magazine. There's some 20 articles in there, and otherwise support the channel with our Cyber War series. Thank you very much. We'll see you on Friday morning where we're looking at SCADA, the Mitsubishi Electric SCADA lineup, and also I can't tell you who we've got on Friday morning, but their announcement should be coming out tomorrow. And yeah, once that's out, we'll disclose who we've got. So that's 10 a.m. AST in Sydney time on Friday morning, and we'll see you then. Enjoy your day.